Hi, this is Mary of Humphrey Coaching. Today we're talking about gaslighting, but specifically we're talking about the most common statement that the gaslighter will use. You are too sensitive. Let's get into it. So quickly, we're going to once again talk about what gaslighting is. And it is a manipulative, emotionally abusive attempt for someone to make you distrust your own sanity. When you're told that you're too sensitive and you're reacting as a normal person would react to something that you feel is traumatic or sad or unbelievable, you may cry, you may show other emotions, and these are just normal. But the gaslighter will devalue you as they tell you you are too sensitive. And they're trying to control you. They're trying to convince you that your mind is really messed up. And they're doing this to validate their own behavior. They're deflecting blame onto you. Now, the best way to combat this that I have found is a higher awareness. You need to have a higher awareness of what is really going on, what is being said. What does this statement that really isn't true, you're too sensitive, what are they really saying behind the scenes? And I'm not saying sit around and think about it all the time, but you need to process it more than just, why are they saying that? You need to go deeper. What is the true meaning of what they're saying? At the root, what are they actually trying to accomplish by saying that to me? There's also similar statements to you are too sensitive, and I'm going to read some of those off to you. You are reading too much into this. You are overreacting. Why are you so upset? You have a problem. Why would you even think that? You are way too insecure. You are always twisting things around. You always do this. Calm down and get control of yourself. Why don't you get upset with so-and-so? Why do you only get upset with me? Why are you overly sensitive to me and not them? You drive me nuts. Everyone knows you're too sensitive, and they talk to me about that. Why are you such a baby? Grow up and get a grip. You always take things too personally. So it really is so important to be aware of these tactics. These attempts to dislodge you make you question your own sanity. I want you to remember a few key things. There are people that are highly sensitive people, and this is also known as HPN. People can have a personality where they're more highly sensitive than others, and that is of no fault of their own. This is a personality trait that involves more sensitivity of the central nervous system, deeper cognitive processing as well of emotional, social, and physical stimuluses. And overall, those with HPN do react more to stimuli than others. They are more sensitive. They're physically more sensitive, which becomes a mental more sensitive. Being highly sensitive does come with its own challenges, and it may even require professional care. So if your sensitivity disrupts your day or it leaves you dysfunctional, then do go for some professional help. Seek a therapist, seek a counselor, and you can seek a coach. We're just not able to treat. We can talk, we can coach, we can ask questions. So I just want to interject at this point though, not everyone that's highly sensitive requires professional care. Not everyone that's highly sensitive needs to seek therapy. You can be highly sensitive, and that's a good thing to have a big heart. So what do you do when you're being gaslit and being told one of these statements similar to, or the statement you're too sensitive? What do you do? The first question that you should ask yourself when you're being gaslit in this manner In complete reality, should I be upset? Should you be sensitive right now in the moment? Should you be upset? If the situation doesn't call for being upset, and I'm not saying you have to be upset, but if for some reason you can validate that you shouldn't be upset, then you need to work on that. You need to work on being less sensitive. But with the narcissist, I can tell you their stinging bite, they raise their head up and their ugly head like a snake bite, and they got you. And it just comes out of the blue. You should be upset when that happens. You should feel the feelings of upset. The next thing that I want you to take a look at, what are they really saying? What are they trying to accomplish by saying, oh, you're just oversensitive? What is being contorted? Then I want you to clearly think about, is the gaslighter trying to gain control over me? Is that the purpose behind that accusation? While you're asking yourself these things, I want you to let go of the desire to be right or wrong. It doesn't matter if you're right or wrong. And I don't want you to argue. I just want you to pay attention to your sensitivity, but not accuse yourself of being oversensitive, of course. I want you to allow yourself to feel your feelings. I don't want you to learn to block your feelings. I don't want you to brush your feelings under the rug. That's not healthy, and it doesn't get you anywhere. You don't think logically when you hide your feelings. Remember that if something feels wrong, and I'm talking about intuition here, it probably is wrong. And this validates your sensitivity. It doesn't validate any offhanded reaction that you have. But to feel hurt, to feel sensitive, to feel a sense of shock, to feel a sense of abandonment, to feel a sense of frustration, that's all a part of the sensitivity that you're being accused of. That is perfectly normal and healthy. So have some compassion for yourself. Don't beat yourself up for having these feelings or emotions. The other thing is, I want you to talk with others. Just like I just said, I don't want you brushing this abuse under the rug. I want you to talk with others. If you can't find anyone out there that can talk to you and you can't afford a coach, look for coaches that are still in their training. And they would be willing to work pro bono for you, which will help you navigate. You can join a support group, and there's many support groups that are free these days. There's online support groups. And I know sometimes it's hard to determine who you can trust. I understand that. We're living in a very strange world. The one thing I want you to avoid at all costs is talking about your problem, your circumstances on social media, because it is at a point where it's hard for us to find people that we can trust. Oftentimes the narcissist has their flying monkeys or their little tribe of believers that actually go out and have feelers for you. Ask me how I know about this. And you can think that you're talking to the most trusted person in the world, but they're turning around and taking it back to the narcissist. Whatever you said, they're taking it back. And it's shocking when that happens. You're basically being stalked online, but you're being stalked through a whole tribe of people, so be careful who you talk to. I want you to see the truth. I want you to see how God sees you through His eyes. If you're not a Christian, you can stop this video now. I understand, but I hope you stick with us. As a Christian, we find support in God's Word. And I want you to continue to pray if you are in an abusive situation. But I also want you to consider these Psalms. Psalms 120 through 134 were sung by people as they stepped through the land to go to their annual feasts. In a way, it's described as each psalm is a step along the journey, and this journey is through a distant land that has hostile surroundings. Now, If you are being manipulated by a narcissist, you are in hostile surroundings. If you're hearing you're too sensitive, or you've lost your mind, or you're making too much over this, you're in a hostile surrounding. You're tiptoeing through the minefield. When is that mine going to blow up? Today it might not blow up. Tomorrow it might. Boy, that's a hostile way to live. It's hostile surroundings. So these psalms can be sung as you take your steps through that journey. Psalm 120 verse 7. I am for peace, but when I speak, they are for war. Are you the one for peace? Are you trying to keep peace? Does your sensitive heart feel like, I just want peace? But the narcissist says, I can stir up this war. The narcissist says, I'm at war with this person. They must lose their sense of reality. I've got to fix this. Because they're crying, they're upset, they're going to figure me out. I have to fix this so I can continue with my behavior. Psalms 121 verses 1 and 2. Verse 1, I lift up my eyes to the mountains. Where does my help come from? It's so soothing to me to think about lifting my eyes to the mountains. I am lifting my eyes to the sky. There is a Father that sticks through our side. He doesn't stop loving us. He doesn't manipulate us. He doesn't care when we make mistakes. He's just there. He helps us. Where does our help come from? We put our trust in Jesus. And He gives us that living water. He gives us a way to survive this earth, because we know we're not going to be here forever. We're of a different realm. This is the natural world. We're talking about the spiritual world. And speaking of which, the war that I was talking about, the minefield, that's a spiritual war place. Verse 2, Psalms 121 verse 2, my help comes from the Lord, the maker of heaven and earth. And what more solid concrete do we have to stand on? We stand on the word of man, and it's shaky. We put our faith in someone else, is shaky. We put our faith in ourselves, and we have to believe in ourselves. We have to speak the truth. We have to live by the truth. We have to live by our values. We have to live by our beliefs. Well, we can't trust our thoughts. We aren't what we think. We are what we believe. And we are how God sees us in His eyes.